Hey guys, Aaron here for QuadLogic, and today we're talking radius rods. So we got our QuadLogic signature radius rods we're gonna introduce to you guys today, and we also got our QuadLogic drop links that we're gonna be introducing to you guys. So let's just get into it. Hey Grant, here we go. Do it again.
Now you make me laugh. All right, yeah. Hey guys, Grant here with QuadLogic. Today we're gonna be installing our new radius rod kit made of 6061 aluminum with all your misalignment bushings and rod ends. This is an OEM rod. As you can see, it's much thinner, smaller in diameter, can bend. With this kit, it can be much stronger. And then over here, we have our new drop link kit, also made out of 6061 aluminum. Comes with all your misalignment bushings and rod ends as well. Let's get to installing this. All right, so the first step would be to remove the tire, put it under some jack stands. You're gonna be removing these two bolts that hold the radius rods on. So I'm gonna take this off right now. And we're using a 15 millimeter on both ends. Next, we will be going to remove the bolts connected to the radius rod plate. There's a nut on the back side. It is kind of tricky to get to, being it is in a tight spot behind the transmission. All right, now that the OEM radius rods are removed, we are gonna start with the lower radius rod, which is the longer of the two. What I like to do to start out with is just screw them all the way in. And both ends are right hand threaded. For the misalignment bushings, the two thinner bushings are gonna go on your hub, and the thicker and the thinner are gonna go on your chassis and radius rod plate. The thicker bushing will go against the chassis, and then the thinner will go against the radius rod plate. Next, we're gonna adjust these to the OEM length. So we're gonna screw these out until we reach that length. All right, we're gonna call that good. We'll know once we put it on the vehicle and scrub it out. Then we're gonna do the same process on the upper radius rod.
A few minutes later.
All right, now that the lower and upper radius rods are set to the OEM length, we're gonna go and install these. All right, now that these are set to length, we're gonna go ahead and install the upper first. Re-put the bolt in just to hold it. Remember that the larger bushing goes against the chassis. With the upper radius rod, make sure that the brake line does go over the rod. We're then just gonna slide the bushings in. Sometimes it can be tight. Install the bolt. With this bolt, we did put it in backwards so that if we ever do have to remove it, the caliper does not have to come off. Now we're gonna do the same thing to the lower. Bolt in, hold it in place. Now we're install the end onto the hub. You have to kind of pull the hub away. And go ahead and tighten all the bolts. Best refer to your manual for torque spec. Next, we're just gonna tighten up the jam nuts. We're just gonna use a crescent. Sometimes easier. Of course, it always helps when you just have the right wrench size. But we're not doing it here. All right, there you go. Now that the radius rods are installed and all tightened down, we're gonna be moving on to installing our drop link. All right, first steps for installing the new drop links is to remove these two factory bolts. Set the hardware aside. We will be reusing this. As you can see, this drop link's bushing is pretty well worn. Pretty much a sign telling you to upgrade. This kit is adjustable, so depending on if you have an aftermarket sway bar, any sort of setup, you can adjust it to the proper length. Today, we're just gonna be adjusting it to the OEM length. First steps, just screw in your rod ends into the link. I like to just go all the way in, then we'll adjust outwards. All right, now that we have our drop link set to the length we want, we are gonna run our jam nuts up to the link, but do not tighten yet, that will be on the vehicle. Now that the drop link is set to the desired length, what I like to do is just install the bottom of this drop link first to get the bolt. We're gonna do the same thing on the top. On the top bolt, it did have a washer on it holding that bushing. We are not gonna reuse this. Tighten the jam nuts up. All right, now that we've installed the radius rods and our drop links, we can go ahead and install the tires and move the vehicle back and forth to scrub out the suspension to make sure everything is aligned. Sometimes helps to get a friend or so to help push. All right, just a few times back and forth, and it should be to where it's, gonna sit. I think player states about 0 to 1 degrees of camber is where you wanna be. So that's going in between 90 and 89 degrees. So that's 1 degree or 0 degrees. So we're right in spec there. All right, I'm just gonna go angle check the other one really quick.
A few minutes later.
Once you've done that, pretty much go rip it. Why are you still holding the camera there? You're waiting for me to I knew it. Freaking knew it.